back to the channel. Today I'm headed up to Denver, warming the truck up and about to hook it to the trailer. We are headed to the auction to go pick up another project, and it's not really a project. It says it runs and drives. It's just a really old car, and I have been looking, I've kind of been looking for one for a while, and one in this condition. In the pictures it looks really good, but everybody knows how pictures go. So I guess we'll see what happens once we get up there, but let's get this trailer hooked up and head up to Denver. Got over to the auction. I'm gonna go inside, sign all the paperwork, get them ready to load the car. All right, so we have the 300Z loaded onto the trailer. I need to kind of reposition it back. The guy put it pretty far forward, but yeah, let's get this thing strapped down. And it's actually pretty nice. I mean, all considering it was a donation, but usually these lips on the bottom are pretty messed up. I mean, it kind of looks like they messed it up with a fork a little bit, but we'll figure it out. Z loaded up, strapped down. So now what I'm gonna do is go ahead, the usual thing. I'm gonna go get lunch. It's lunchtime, and then we'll pretty much head back, and then we'll try to get this thing started. Battery seems like it's dead, and it kind of looks like it might have a blown head gasket, but other than that, it doesn't seem like it has very much rust. I mean, it seems like a very, very clean Z. It's an 84, so it's very surprising. The leather seats aren't even cracked. So let's go get some lunch. I'm back home with the Z, and what I'm gonna do now, I just hooked a battery up to it. It seemed like the battery was dead. They left the ignition on, so I just ran it down. But now I have another battery connected to it, so we will see if she starts. It has this weird leak back here. It's leaking something out of the exhaust. So I'm not sure. Actually, looking at the exhaust right there, it looks pretty oily. So maybe, you know, these older 84s had crappy turbos on them. So maybe the turbo's bad, but I do have, I'm not sure if it's T25 or T2 or if it's a T3 flange. So I do have a T25 HKS 2871R that I could throw on here, but let's see if it starts. We'll see how good she runs. Most likely has a blown turbo with, I'm guessing that's oil leaking out of the exhaust, and I just looked at that and I didn't notice it before. So not that big of a deal. Even if it needed an engine, I could put a 3.3 VG in here, which would give it a little bit more oomph because they came supercharged 3.3s. But let's see how she runs. Let's fire her up and kind of go from there. Is that the fuel pump? Jiggle the ground around. Let's try her again. Might have to try another batch.
It's good to many people in many religions. I don't want anyone to think that, you know, God does not hear the prayers of anyone.
Trying this another way, flip the battery. I think it's the jumper cables. We'll see what happens. Nothing. Attempt like 35. Let's try this out now. Hopefully she starts. Oh man. Woo, she runs good. Look at that. Good oil pressure. Look at the oil pressure. All the way at the top. Man, the coolant temp gauge works. Usually these clusters don't work. It doesn't look like the fuel gauge works, which is kind of disappointing, but usually it tells you how many gallons and the amount of fuel. The G meter works, the compass works. Man, look at that. All this stuff down here works. That's actually pretty surprising. The one thing that I'm kind of sad about is it doesn't look like, oh no, the tack is working. It's just really hard to see because the sun's on it. Oh yeah, the tack works. Oh man, she's yeah, the turbo's definitely blown. I think a Cummins is warming up right now. Yeah, the turbo's definitely gone. So I guess what I'm gonna do is, I'm really glad that this thing actually runs and drives. It has like 250,000 miles on it. 243,000 miles. It's an 84. It's actually really clean, other than it having a blown turbo. But yeah, we'll resolve that. I guess I need to pull this turbo off and see if it's the same flange as the HKS GT. I think it's a 2871R comparison, so that would actually pep this up quite a bit. But yeah, she's actually smoking quite a lot. I could give you guys the smoke show off of this old girl, but it's definitely a lot. Yeah, I better fix the turbocharger before the EPA comes out and kills me. But she's a little bit smoky. Holy crap! Maybe something else is going on there. That's very strange. I'm not exactly sure why there's that much oil coming out of the exhaust, or why. Man, I have no clue. If the turbocharger is that bad, it's surprising that it has oil pressure at all. But yeah, there's no leaks up here. Just a massive one. An oil leak out of the exhaust. Interesting. And I was hoping this lip was in a little bit better condition, but you know, it's pretty hard to find those in the first place. And they lift them up with forks at the auction, which is kind of disappointing. I can't believe that much oil is coming out of that exhaust. So I don't know. I'll have to figure out why there's that much oil coming out of the exhaust. And I'm just guessing it's a turbocharger at this point. I don't really know how that much oil could get into the exhaust that quick, unless it was, it sounded like it had turbo noises though. So I'm not sure. And it's kind of weird how that's so creamy like that. It looks like, I don't know what that looks like. It's crazy. It's coming out the exhaust though. So I guess until another day. So unfortunately, I was not able to drive the 300ZX. I probably could have drove the car, but it was leaking so much oil out of the exhaust. I really didn't want to chance it. I'm guessing what's wrong with the car is the turbo is bad. Those turbos are stuffed pretty far down there, so I did get the AC compressor off. I got a bunch of other stuff off. I need a new AC compressor, and I might have to convert it to R134A because I'm pretty sure it's an R12 system, but I might also be able to use the compressed air that you clean your computer with. I've heard it from a number of people that it's the same stuff, so which is kind of crazy. You could use it in an AC system as R12 refrigerant. But that being said, I'm just really glad that I got the car. It is as clean as it's pretty clean. It's a pretty clean Z31 for, you know, it being A4, and you know, it's a turbo. It's all pretty much stock. Actually, I don't really think there's anything really modified. There was like some power wires going somewhere, but I'll just have to go through it. It started up after I got a good battery in there, like instantly, and then it just started dumping oil, and it, you know, it was making clouds. But
you know, I'm glad I got it. It was very, very cheap, you know, $2,000 for a 300ZX, especially that year. And it doesn't look like it has any rust on it. I still haven't looked in the spare tire well, but yeah, it doesn't look like it has rust by the T-tops. Underneath, I looked under the car. It looks like it had all the factory, you know, the factory, like, what's it called? Like almost like the bed liner stuff, the undercoating. And yeah, it's just a very clean car. So it's really nice to have one. Kind of complements the FC, same era of car, turbo. The turbo did give a turbo noise, but I don't know. I don't know where that oil is leaking from, but we'll figure out in the next video, the next video of the car, and just kind of go from there. So I'm going to end the video here. If you like these videos, make sure to click that subscribe button, throw a thumbs up, throw a comment below. As always, see you guys next time.